Full and uncut versions available on Patreon. Check in the description below.
Greetings once again, Pokemaniacs. Duuz-Diz-Din back once again with more of the Pokemon Adventures manga. Where previously, in the Ruby and Sapphire arc, whereas Team Aqua was successful in using a device to stop Mount Chimney's volcano, causing sea levels to rise, Team Magma is up to its own shenanigans, blowing up Rustifer Tunnel and causing some issues for Wally's cousin's fiance, who's a construction worker. Had to get that right in my head first. But when Ruby encounters Courtney of Team Magma, she remembers him thanks to the weird lighter flame thingy they have in their horns, memory thingamajig. She asks Ruby to join Team Magma, which naturally he refuses. But something that Courtney says really stuck in Ruby's craw. The question, what is beauty? And why do the ribbons that he covets so much represent beauty to him? Ruby is a bit of a loss, even after he's able to escape from Courtney, leaving her in the fire she starts. Although, fire people, she walks out of it pretty easily. But it's obvious she's gained a bit of an obsession with going after Ruby now, leaving the finding of the orbs that will help control what they're after, Groudon, to Blaze. Meanwhile, Flannery, after her run-in with Team Aqua during their operation to cause dormancy in Mount Chimney, Flannery calls a meeting of all the gym leaders to Four Tree City, only not attended by Liza and Tate, and Wallace remotely. Unfortunately, during the discussion, there's a bit of a divide amongst the gym leaders. There are those who see Team Magma as the heroes and Team Aqua as the villain, namely Flannery, who fought against Team Aqua and was helped out by Tabitha of Team Magma, Winona, who believes what Flannery saw with her own eyes and experience, and Watson, who, well, the city he comes from has a population issue and more land would kind of solve that. Now, the gym leaders who believe Team Aqua are a little bit more superfluous, at least in my opinion. Roxanne siding with Team Aqua only because she knows that Professor Cosmo, who she admires, was working with them. Brawly believes in it because he simply wants more ocean. And Wallace is only brought in because Brawly's just like, hey, Wallace, you like water, don't you? And he's just like, well, yeah, for the most part. Norman, on the other hand, scoffs at the whole thing, not wishing to take a side. And even when it's brought up that he'll be going against the Pokemon Association, Norman doesn't seem to have an issue with that, with Watson hinting at something in Norman's past that would cause him to be at odds with the Pokemon Association, despite him being a gym leader of all things. Meanwhile, both Ruby and Sapphire, of all things, suffer crushing defeats by people you never would have expected. Ruby enters into his second contest at the Super Rank level, but is unable to get one ribbon at the time, one won by none other than Wallace. Ruby, with something to prove, decides to challenge Wallace to a street contest of beauty, only for all of his Pokemon, aside from Feebas, who he said wasn't ready, to be soundly trounced by Wallace's lone love disc. Ruby is determined to become Wallace's apprentice because of this, with Wallace only agreeing to after they go to Professor Cosmo's lab, where Gabby and Ty have headed to research about Professor Cosmo, only to find out about the rising of the sea, something they question why this wasn't reported, only for it to be found out that Gabby and Ty's own news company had actually suppressed this information, and unbeknownst to them, the person who suppressed it, their boss, though he does give his own reasoning, is none other than the leader of Team Aqua itself, Archie. Love that twist. But after Wallace sees Ruby in action and how determined he can become, Wallace decides to train Ruby, specifically taking him to Four Tree City to the gym leader meeting. Before they arrive, Sapphire gets there first and meets with Winona, who had heard a lot about her from not just Flannery but the other gym leaders that Sapphire had defeated up until that point. Although Sapphire is a little bit dubious about Winona's offer, they have a battle, and Winona soundly trounces her, impressing Sapphire in the process, with Sapphire even asking to become Winona's apprentice. It's only then that Ruby arrives with Wallace, and he and Sapphire lock eyes yet again. It seems they're about to be involved in something bigger than they ever could have guessed. And though Sapphire might be on board since she was already interested in taking these bad teams down, Ruby, well, he's not quite on board with getting involved in something so violent, as it were. Despite his skill. What'll happen next? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, Pokemon Adventures Ruby and Sapphire Volume 19. Love this cover. It's interesting that we only have Castform and Tropheus on the cover alongside, and here it is, my favorite of the legendaries of the Hoenn region, Rayquaza. Yup. I don't know, Rayquaza is just always been kind of cool to me. It's such a wild design, and I just remember it from the Destiny Deoxys movie, and just how aggro it could be. It was so intimidating. And even during, what was it? Was it Generations that you had to fight with Rayquaza? In Duskup? Yeah, you had Mega Rayquaza that you rode on. And then there was even, what was it? In Evolutions, The Wish, which was, oh man, those really stuck with me because, man, they made Rayquaza seem so cool. You don't get that kind of stuff with Groudon and Kyogre, but Rayquaza, man, I didn't even, it made me really regret not playing Emerald or any of the games where you actually get to go out into space and just, so cool. I would have been jonesing out had I gotten to those parts in those games. Maybe I'll play them one day, but just, gotta get that in there. Alright, let's begin. That's cool. Them striking the poses with their mentors and all that. The idea of a mentorship under a gym leader is really cool too. Never even thought about it, because, I mean, if you at least for me, when I come across a gym leader that I can't beat, I just go out into the nearest tall grass and just start beating up Pokemon for a hot minute until I can get my Pokemon powerful enough to take them down. But the idea that a gym leader might have a mission or a training regimen for you to get stronger is actually kind of cool. And sometimes the thing that undercooks both gym leaders and Elite Four members as well is when they don't really have anything going outside of their gym battles. That's sometimes why they leave more of an impression in the anime, because you see them doing other things, showing that they have other jobs, other skills, other things that they're capable of. Yeah, that's kind of cool. They both now have 5 Pokemon, too. I didn't even register that. Or did I? Maybe I mentioned that before. Ooh, are we gonna see them in this? Man, I forget just how many legendaries the Hoenn region has, too. Alright, oh god, this Pokemon. I'm not saying I hate it, it's got a weird design. So it's better than its previous form. Cannot get over its previous form. It just such a weird creation. Alright, we'll get to that when we get to it. Chapter 227. I'm always Grumpig first thing in the morning, part 1. Ironically enough, doing this video first thing in the morning, time of recording. And as Wallace's car lands, both Ruby and Sapphire lock eyes, both shouting, "You?" The car comes to a complete landing, and Wallace looks back to Ruby, questioning, along with Winona, "Do you two know each other?" Sapphire slams Ruby on the back, saying, "Do we? He's my rival." She smacks the wind out of Ruby. Both Winona and Wallace question, "Rival?" While Ruby shouts, "What are you doing here?" Sapphire says, smiling, "Traveling around visiting all the Pokemon gyms. Why else would I come to Four Tree City? What are you doing here? All the gym leaders are here too, you know." Ruby shouts, "What? All the gym leaders?" He then ducks behind Wallace's car, peeking over, thinking, "Where's my dad?" And as the other gym leaders come out, he blows a sigh of relief, saying he doesn't seem to be around. But then he thinks, wait a minute, that means... He looks over, questioning, huh? Winona then addresses Wallace, saying, "Welcome. We've been waiting for you, Wallace. Thank you for coming all the way from Sootopolis City. This is a level 7 emergency. I'd like you to remain here and prepare for trouble, and make it double. We'll hold another meeting after Tate and Liza arrive. Please contact me immediately if you learn anything new about this situation. That is all. And so as Winona stays with Sapphire, Wallace goes off with Ruby. Ruby says, wow, I didn't know you were a gym leader. Wallace says, well, you're the son of a gym leader, aren't you? And Ruby remembers when Ty had said that, saying, are you eavesdropping? Even if I am, I'm only interested in Pokemon contests. Wallace seems to see something and brings out his Kingdra. Seeking? Yeah, Seeking. I don't know why I said Kingdra. His Seeking, and has it sprout a spray of water that shines in the sky. Ruby goes, ooh, beautiful. You're amazing, Master. Are you already training for your next contest? Alright, I'm going to learn your moves from the upcoming Hyper Rank and Master Rank contest. So Wallace examines the foliage of the leaves, thinking, I can measure the level of humidity in the air by the way these leaves are absorbing water. It's clearly too humid. Is that because the Volcano C6 activity? Yeah, I love that. They're doing such a good job of making Wallace seem so competent in what he does and what he becomes later down the line. Nothing else does this much for Wallace from my memory. He then thinks, I should check the humidity at a higher altitude. Meanwhile, I think Ruby's trying to strike, he tried to strike the same poses as Wallace. Wallace says, there's something I need to do. It's dangerous, so wait for me here. Ruby says, what? Wait a minute, Master. But it's too late. Wallace is taken off in his car, leaving Ruby in stunned silence. Meanwhile, with Sapphire and Winona, Sapphire asks, well, Master, are you going to teach me something already? Winona puts on her helmet, saying, oh, right. Like I said, we need your assistance, so, okay, attack me. As her Altaria comes flying down, and as Sapphire prepares her Blaze Kick, she says, all right, let's do it, chick. Blaze Kick. But Altaria manages to block it with its wing. Winona tells her, no. You're fighting against a flying-type Pokemon. A big showy move like that will only give it a chance to fly away. True, but even so, unless it's a ground-type move, it should be good enough. You have to weaken your opponent first. Use attacks that are certain to strike your opponent, even if they aren't very powerful. That's actually not a bad idea, yeah. And your Blaziken. If it attacks the way it just did, it can't see over here. In cases like that, the trainer has to move to see what the Pokemon can't. Oh, I actually kind of like that. A view, because sometimes, yeah, that could be it. The trainer can't issue the right kind of commands, especially in a 3D battle like this, then you can't really see what might be coming from your opponent or what might be coming next. Sapphire goes, oh. Winona tells her, okay, let's continue. Go. You did it again. Good. That's right. You're a fast learner. Suddenly the comms in her helmet starts to ring. Winona answers saying, Winona speaking? Okay. He takes off on her Altaria. Because Winona says, sorry, Sapphire, I need to go back for a little while. Sapphire says, what? Master? And she's left in silence, watching Winona ride away. And now they're both alone, just clueless. As they lock eyes yet again, Sapphire comes over saying, hey, how's it going? You doing okay? Ruby says, yeah, I guess so. Sapphire says, glad to hear it. As Castform realizes who she is, it goes jumping towards her, and Sapphire hugs it, saying, oh, you're the Castform I met a while back. Ruby asks, huh? You know Fofo? Sapphire hugs her tighter, saying, we met at Route 104. Long time no see. You're so cute. Ruby says, that's right. Who's a cute Pokemon? Who's a little cutie? But then they notice how close they both are, and they both kind of back off. Ruby questions, are you going to pick a fight with me again today? Sapphire blushes, saying, huh? Are you saying I'm the one who starts our fights? Ruby says, that's right. Only fight back in self-defense. Sapphire thinks about it for a moment and then gives a bow, saying, you're right. Maybe I am the one who starts things by saying mean stuff to you. I'm sorry. Ruby says, are you okay? You're awfully accommodating today. You're starting to act like a normal girl. Sapphire says, what the? That is so rude. Of course I'm a normal girl. I like cute things, and I even have crushes sometimes. As a matter of fact, I have a... But suddenly, there's a rumbling in the tree that they're on. Oh, Ruby is sent flying towards a tree, saying, an earthquake? much stronger than the one at Petalburg City. While Sapphire says the spoinka hopping mad. Uh-oh. And suddenly Ruby runs into a whole bunch of, what are they called again? Grumpig. Angry Grumpig. Oh, man, I really need to learn to just read the comic because they say it in the manga as Ruby runs into a whole bunch of Grumpig who are just stampeding. Sapphire says Grumpig, and they're in a panic. Come here. Only for a Grumpig to come from behind her, just utterly smacking her into the air. And as she hits the ground, the Grumpig's about to go and stomp on her, while Ruby rolls out of the way saying, look out! He calls out his Mighty Anna, telling it, Nana, take down! And Mighty Anna manages to just use awesome moves in order to keep all the Grumpig away from Sapphire. Ooh, it just takes down the whole entire horde, just like it was nothing. While Sapphire's stunned, she questions, what did you just do? You've got serious battle skills. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. She knows how capable he is. What will this mean for the relationship? Tune in to find out more. We're both at Fort Tree City. Alright, chapter 228. I'm always Grumpig first thing in the morning, part 2. Sapphire looks around at what Ruby was able to do, saying, you've got serious battle skills. There were at least a dozen Grumpigs stampeding us. Ruby, nervous now, says, well, Sapphire then looks at the Grumpig saying, it looked like you were blindly attacking with takedown, but you weren't. And then she brings out her Pokedex, which reads, Grumpig, the manipulate Pokemon? Is that what it reads? Yeah, manipulate Pokemon. Huh. Grumpig uses the black pearls on its body to amplify its psychic power waves for gaining total control over its foe. When this Pokemon uses its special power, its snorting breath grows labored. Sapphire says, Grumpig amplified the power using these black pearls, and you hit those pearls dead on in a split second. That ain't something no ordinary trainer could pull off. Ruby says, strange, huh? I guess Nana was really trying hard. Sapphire shouts, stop playing dumb with me, as she brings out her Lyron to attack, and Ruby manages to have his Mighty Anna easily just dunk on Lyron. The two then jump back into position. It was all instinct. Now when the jig is up, Ruby doesn't really know how to respond, as Sapphire eyes him down and questions, have you been lying to me all this time? Why have you been lying to me? Say something. She gets in his face, but he still has no response. Sapphire gives a sigh and then says, you don't want to tell me, huh? Okay, whatever. At least she came at the right time. Ruby questions, huh? What do you mean at the right time? Sapphire questions, don't you know what's going on? The whole region's being torn apart and the gym leaders are here to do something about it. They're saying they need all the help they can get, and I'm going to answer their call. Ruby questions, so? Sapphire shouts, what do you mean, so? You're a skilled trainer. You gotta fight with us. That's what I'm talking about. Ruby pauses for a moment and then looks away, saying, I don't want to. Sapphire is shocked, saying, what? Hey, what do you mean you don't want to? Ruby recalls his Mighty Anna saying, you heard me. The only reason I'm here is to win Pokemon contests. I don't know what's been going on and it doesn't concern me anyways. Sapphire grows even more angry, saying, you, how self-centered can you be? The volcano died. Earthquakes are happening everywhere. A group of strange people are making trouble and stealing stuff. This is no time for me to travel to Pokemon gyms to earn badges. And it ain't no time for you to be earning Pokemon contests neither. You gotta fight to protect the Hoenn region. But Ruby just waves her off, saying, you expect me to care about a region I just moved to? Forget it. As a matter of fact, I'm going back to Johto as soon as I'm done with these contests. This place is too provinical for me. That is a word I have never actually heard before. Is he just saying that just so he doesn't have to fight, or does he really mean that? I don't know. Because when push comes to shove, he goes into action. So I can't believe he would be completely okay with the whole place getting toward. Maybe he's thinking, oh, well, you have all the gym leaders and you're involved. Why do I need to get involved with it? I could see that being his way of thinking. I mean, the same kind of thought process and reasoning as, some people are willing to go to war and some people aren't. Not everybody really wants to fight. I mean, I feel like we've got a little too hard with those who fight and those who don't when it comes to this series, but it's an interesting enough conflict and an interesting message overall. Ooh, Sapphire is stunned silent and is shaken mad, saying, "You're serious?" Ruby, without looking at her, says, "I am." And without a word, she starts a stripping. Much to Ruby's shock as he questions, "Hey, what are you?" She then grabs leaves and branches and stuff, creating clothes, saying, "Even though we're always getting into fights, I always thought deep down you were nice. Do you remember what you wrote on that note you left me? That," it says, "so in gratitude for saving me, I've altered my own clothes to fit you. Wear them, they'll look great on you." Sapphire tells him, "That last line made me so happy. No one ever said anything like that to me before. That's why I decided to wear your clothes, even though I thought they were too fancy for me." She then crumples up the note saying, "But there's no point now. You're a really skilled trainer, but you're wasting your talent. You don't even try to make good use of it." Ruby, now feeling a bit of something, says, Sapphire says, "I don't want to hear it." He then chucks the clothes back at him, saying, why do you think we train? It's so we can help others, ain't it?" Ruby has no response, and she turns away, saying, "Don't you ever show your face around me again." And Ruby, not having a response, simply walks away. Oh boy, I don't know. There's definitely something deeper going on here, because there is a level of selfishness that he shows that just, I don't know, he doesn't feel that way deep down. I mean, there's too many times we've been outright shown that he will help when push comes to shove. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I know. I can't wait for people to start questioning Sapphire. What are you wearing, girl? You are one false movement away from a higher rating on this book. You then cut back to the gym leaders as Winona says, "That was a powerful earthquake. Are you all right?" She says as she takes off her helmet. Broly says, "Are we all right? Ha! You got more important things to worry about than a little earthquake." Roxanne says, "That's right. What was the meaning of that?" Winona questions, "Meaning of what? I don't follow you." Roxanne slams her hand on the table, saying, "She earned her badges from us, but still, I can't believe you dragged that little girl into this. You act like all of us want her to join our team, but you and Flannery are the only ones who approve of the idea." Winona's a bit taken aback as Roxanne turns away, saying, "We'll sort this out as soon as Tate and Liza arrive." On the one hand, yeah, child endangerment and all that stuff. But then again, how old are Tate and Liza? Oh, Winona thinks, Tate and Liza, where are they anyway? And then we cut to the Wonder Twins, and we are about to get stereotypically martial artists up in this. Gotta love it. Although, Kung Fu fighting twins, not a bad idea. Oh, and they got Soul Rock and Lunatone? Was that what they're called? Yep, Soul Rock and Lunatone. Yep, ha. Actually remembered. Because they're cool Pokemon. Not the strongest. I've never found them as strong as they could be. But, I actually love the double battle you had against these two. They were actually pretty capable. At least as far as I know from, Ruby and Sapphire. So they're at Mount Pyre and they're on guard. Tate's Soul Rock and Liza's Lunatone at their ready. Tate says, "Are you sure about this, Liza?" Well, Liza says, "I am, no doubt about it, Tate." Tate's Soul Rock then goes up, looking around. Liza saying, "Look, Soul Rock has sensed whatever evil is closing in. Soul Rock is definitely reacting to something. Somebody must be trying to break in." The Pokedex reads, "Soul Rock, the meteorite Pokemon. Sunlight is the source of Soul Rock's power. It is said to possess the ability to read the emotions of others. This Pokemon gives off intense heat while rotating its body." Tate gives a nod as Liza says, "Right, time for us to finish this job then." Tate says, "It's a pity this keeps us from participating in the gym leader meeting. If only we could tell them where we are." Liza says, "No, Tate, they were not supposed to tell the other gym leaders about this. Don't forget, we were only made gym leaders on the condition that we complete this job." Tate says, "Right, the two of us together make one gym leader." Suddenly Soul Rock seems to sense something and goes racing off with Lunatone following behind. Tate and Liza follow, with Tate saying, "This way, Tate." Suddenly, torches light down the path that they go down. Oh, and we see, what the heck? A stadium-like torch setup? The heck is this? I know this is Mount Pyre, but I don't think Mount Pyre had a setup like this. Yeah, but there are several grave-like sites in Mount Pyre. Okay. Kind of looks like, Lavender Town, the tower in Lavender Town. On the inside, at least. Interesting. Liza says, "It looks like both of them sense something." While Tate says, "Phew, right, phew, this place sure is hot." But a voice calls out, "Hot? Of course it's hot. A pyre is a flame that guides the dead to the other world. This mountain was named Mount Pyre because the cave inside serves as a grave where the souls of Pokémon can rest." As we see, Liza says, "Show yourself," and she has Lunatone launch an attack that lights a specific area, where we see is this Blaze? Or just a Team Magma grunt? Well, regardless, he says, "I've come for the red orb and the blue orb." Another grunt says, "The two orbs that have the power to control Groudon and Kyogre." They start to surround Tate and Liza. As Liza says, "The evil our Pokemon are sensing. It's you two, isn't it?" They have Magmar, or no, Slugma. They both have Slugma. "You seem to know an awful lot about the orbs. How did you find out about this place?" The grunt pulls out, kind of looks like a stapler. Oh, no, it's a scanner. He says, "The scanner, it's amazing." Tate and Liza then grab each other's hand as the grunts say, "How cute. Two little kids. This'll be a piece of cake." The Slugma unleash Fire Blast, but Tate and Liza both leap into the air and manage to bound off of each other, dodging the attack, which, nice. As they land, much to the shock of the grunts, Liza says, "Do you really imagine you could defeat us with that thing?" Tate says, "You'll have to do better than that." Liza says, "We are the mystic combination of Most Deep City, Tate and Liza." Well, Tate says, "And the battle we excel at is the 2-on-2 double battle." Oh, it's Liza who says that. All right. Man, we getting on a side with Tate and Liza? We went from a pairing that doesn't work to a pairing that most certainly does work. And I've always loved double battles. Sometimes they're a little too easy to win depending on the situation, but if you go in not thinking, you'll be overwhelmed in a second. All right, it's chapter 229. You can fight day or night with Lunatone and Solrock. Yeah, that's not really much of an alliteration, but whatever. We did have narration. In ancient times, two Pokemon fought an endless battle, which became legend, Kyogre and Groudon. But it was the presence of two special orbs that brought their battle to an end, the blue orb and the red orb. The light emanating from these orbs soothed the two Pokemon's anger. They swam down deep into the ocean and were never heard of or seen again. We then cut to the peak of Mount Pyre where, these two old people, are they Tate and Liza's grandparents? And they're watching over the two orbs too. The old woman says, The old man questions, "What's wrong?" The woman says, "Oh dear, we have an intruder, and Tate and Liza are fighting them now." The man says, "Oh my, we're past our prime as fighters, so that young pair has taken our place." The woman says, "But it's still our duty to safeguard these two orbs at any cost. We must protect these orbs." Tate and Liza then command their Pokemon to use cosmic power, and Solrock and Lunatone do just that. As the two Slugma unleash a fire breath, Solrock and Lunatone manage to evade the attack. Tate says, "It's no use. Cosmic power is a psychic type move that boosts their special defense." Liza says, "Lunatone and Solrock are both rock type Pokemon, so we've had the advantage against you from the start. But we won't go easy on anybody who enters this mountain with ill intent. Lunatone, Rock Slide!" Lunatone does just that, covering the two Slugmen Earth. Tate says Rock Slide can attack two Pokemon at the same time, and Solrock can prepare for its next move while Lunatone stops his opponents. That's another important aspect of the double battle. Solrock, Calm Mind. It boosts Solrock's special attack. The grunts tell their Slugma, "I'll use Acid Armor." But Tate says, "You're too slow," and as Solrock used Psy Wave, taking out the two Slugma. Liza says, "Phew, been a while since I've had to work this hard. How are we doing?" Not bad for two cute little kids, huh? The grunts seem to be at a loss for words. Liza says, you know you can leave, right? If you had enough, that is. But, uh-oh. Oh, it's him. Liza's vision starts to get blurry, and she staggers a bit. Tate's saying, what's wrong, Liza? Liza says, sorry, Tate. I feel dizzy all of a sudden. Must be the heat. But as they look around, their vision starts to distort. The slugma grow menacing. The grunts seem to laugh. Their shadows growing large. It's almost as though the grunts are looming in on the pair. Liza backs up while Tate gets ready, saying, are you going to keep fighting? We've got no choice. Liza says, we'll combine our strength again and defeat them in a double battle. We have to win this. Tate says, we can do it. But, unbeknownst to them, they're jumping at shadows as Blaze watches from a distance, laughing. Yeah, you probably could, but only if we're having a real 2-on-2 double battle. Man, so they weren't even fighting two magma grunts from the start. This bastard. Tate says, our attacks are definitely landing on their Pokemon. Liza says, so why aren't they having any effect? Blaze, from the same distance, says, simple. This isn't really a double battle. You're only fighting illusions I've created. You didn't notice that my slugma had slowly surrounded you with its fire between the pyres. You can keep fighting my illusions as long as you like, he says, walking away, then brings out the scanner, saying, now then, the scanner is pointing to the peak. And as he makes his way up, he encounters the two old couple and, wow, elder abuse. He knocks them down just in an instant. Like, man, abuse of the elderly too? These jerks. Les goes past the two, laughing all the way, grabbing both the red and blue orbs, as he says, now these two orbs belong to us. Now, I was kind of wondering, because Team Aqua had made the biggest improvement in their moves with shutting down the volcano. So I was wondering how Team Magma was going to gain the upper hand, but gaining the orbs would do it. Alright, chapter 230, Walrein and Camera, which, that's just the name of the Pokemon. You didn't even try with this one. Oh, come on, guys. You've been so cool about the fun titles and all that. I guess. Took 230 chapters, but the well really did run dry on this one. Then again, the final battle isn't much of a great chapter name with a lot of alliteration, but it's impactful. Oh well. We cut to Lily Cove City at Hoenn TV station, where we see Archie leaving the security guard and the front desk. As he walks to his car, a voice calls out, well now, dressing up as workers from the waterworks department, Team Aqua members sure do like to play make-believe. Isn't that right, Archie? Was that like a claw? Or, it's one of the Team Magma horns? Well, it manages to fly past Archie, hitting the windshield of his car, which, hope you had insurance, bud. But you probably have enough money to deal with that. Archie narrows his eyes and glares out into the distance, questioning, who's there? He sends out Walrein, saying, show yourself. But the lighter on the Team Magma horn, now very much shoved in his windshield, lights up, and thus the image of Maxie is revealed in the flames. Archie turns back to where there was nothing in the darkness, seeing Archie now revealed. Maxie was revealed in the flames. Archie calls out to Maxie. Well, Maxie says, long time no see, Archie. I tire of you and your chicanery. Honestly, I really do feel like both Archie and Maxie should be reversed in this, just because of the direction that I've always felt they take in terms of how they conduct themselves. Archie always felt like a bandit, while Maxie always felt like a businessman, and that's heightened by their redesign. But to have this going on here, it's just like, Archie questions, what are you talking about? Maxie dismounts the car he was sitting on, saying, also he's next to a camera, saying, don't pretend you don't know. I have no idea how you managed to become the chief of this television station, but I do know why. You've been broadcasting everything about Team Magma's skullduggery on the TV news, and making sure to keep Team Aqua out of the spotlight. You control the media, so you control the message. Archie waves his hands in the air, saying, You noticed, huh? Thanks to you, the organization with the red uniforms has become infamous, which has made it very hard for us to accomplish anything. Oh no, that's Maxie saying, thanks to you, the organization with the red uniforms has become infamous, which has made it very hard for us to accomplish anything. Archie smiles, saying, I'm sure you'll think of some way around it, unless you're giving up. Are you? Maxie grits his teeth, saying, You are extremely annoying. Camera Up sends out a blast of fire, while Walrain sends out a blast of water, or ice, either way, which manage to neutralize each other, despite the fact that I'm pretty sure Walrain should kind of have this, but whatever. Camera Up can Mega Evolve. Can Walrain? Walrain cannot. Ooh. I don't know why I'm bringing that up. I just thought it was an interesting fact to kind of note. Camera Up should be weak to Walrain, right? Walrain is ice and water, though. So it's damaged normally by fire, but Camera Up is also a ground. So damaged normally by both Camera Up's type. What about Camera Up? He's weak to water, so yeah. If Walrain was just simply ice, maybe he might have it. But the two attacks neutralize each other, and we have a bit of a standoff. Maxie tells him, fight like a grown-up. Archie just smiles, saying, don't cry like a baby when you lose. And so the two go on the attack. Maxie sends in Camera Up, Archie sends in Walrain, and the two Pokemon clash. Walrain goes for a bite on one of Camera Up's humps. As the Pokédex reads, Walrain, the Ice Break Pokemon. Walrain's two massively developed tusks can totally shatter blocks of ice, weighing 10 tons with one blow. This Pokemon's thick coat of blubber insulates it from sub-zero temperatures. Archie laughs, ha! Walrain's tusks are strong enough to crush a 10-ton iceberg, and the icy chill from its tusks can freeze its opponent. Archie says, icy chill from its tusks? How amusing. Camera Up's ability is magma armor, so will never freeze. And, you can hear something bubbling up in Camera Up's humps. Archie says no, while Maxie says, I purposely let you attack it from behind. Nice. Your Walrain can't move with its tusk stuck in its back. Camera Up, eruption. And Camera Up does just that, burning Walrain something fierce. Meanwhile, we cut to Gabby and Ty making their way back to the TV station. At least I believe so. Gabby slams her fist on the wheel of the car as she drives, saying something isn't right. She remembers Professor Cosmo's assistant saying, What are you talking about? You're the ones who decided not to report it. We want to tell people about this. Gabby says the chief better have a good explanation. She made it seem like she was okay with it over the phone, but nah, she wants to get up in that face. Well, Ty thinks we left Ruby because Gabby didn't think we'd get any honest answers over the phone. I'm not looking forward to this, but if I know Gabby, she'll never let this go. But then they hear a massive explosion go off near the TV center. Gabby goes, huh? What was that? As she screeches to a halt outside. Ty comes up to the bushes right outside the parking lot and motions for Gabby to get down. As they see both Archie and Maxie, Gabby says, a man wearing a black uniform, gesturing to Maxie. And that's the chief, gesturing to Archie. Oh, and we also see that Walrain's got it down. Archie says, you win. Ha, that's what you want me to say, isn't it? Well, too bad. Archie motions and Walrain rises. Archie says, you see, my Walrain's ability is thick fat, so it can't be harmed no matter how much magma you pour onto it. Maxie doesn't say anything, but then raises his hands with a smile, saying, oh, look, Archie, you know we've gotten a hold of that submarine, don't you? Oh yeah, they also had the submarine, I forgot about that. Archie doesn't respond. Maxie saying, but Team Aqua has the special device we need to use the submarine's full potential. Archie says, yes. Maxie tells him, on the other hand, that special device is of no use to Team Aqua by itself. Archie says, you have a point there. Maxie then says, both you and I want to get to the seafloor cavern, and neither of us can. Archie asks, what are you getting at? Maxie withdraws his camera up, saying, you and I are enemies. But why don't we put aside our differences for the moment? I'm suggesting a sort of ceasefire, only for as long as it takes us to travel to the bottom of the sea floor on Submarine Explorer 1. Of course, we both know we'll start fighting again the moment we get there. Archie pauses and then says, deal, and withdraws his wall ring. Maxie then brings out Swallow, which, I was loving on Swallow, but starting to get tired of seeing it. I've always been more loving of the diverse forms of transportation trainers can take with various different Pokemon. The moment it starts becoming the same, I get bored of it, which should tell you how I feel about all these ride Pokemon or cab Pokemon and stuff. I get it. You don't want to have the, move slaves and stuff like that, but at the same time, I like the idea of flying around on my one Pokemon. But Gabby is shaking with anger in the bushes as she whispers, the chief just made some kind of agreement with that man in red. He has the special device Team Aqua stole. That means he must be. And as Archie gets in his car and drives away, Gabby tries to yell out for him, but Ty restrains her, saying, no, Gabby, they see us now. They'll get rid of us for sure. Calm down. But Gabby is left aghast, saying, this can't be happening. Oh, but it is. I actually really love this because I love that in the games, either team is the enemy and it could go either way. It's just the switch up making it so that no one really knows who to believe is just, not realizing that both are kind of just as bad as the other. Although there is the change up in the remake that I know of to a certain degree. Alright, chapter 231. Master Class with Masquerain. Gabby is left aghast, saying, this can't be happening. But now it all makes sense. What happened to President Stone at Petalburg City, the volcanic activity ceasing at Mount Chimney, those two stories never made it to the news because the chief was hiding Team Aqua's evil deeds. He starts to flail around, saying, we have to go after him. Wait, maybe we can find out more at the TV station. Come on, let's go. But Ty grabs her shoulder, saying, those are both terrible plans. Let's say we went after him. What could we do even if we did catch up to him? You just saw that battle. We can't defeat him. And it would be even more dangerous to go back to the TV station. If he's powerful enough to become the chief of Hoenn TV and control the media, there's a good chance there are others at the station who are members of his evil organization too. Going back to the TV station means walking blind into a situation where we don't know who we can trust. Thank you, Ty. Smart boy. You need to get with the gym leaders. Gabby says, but we can't just do nothing. Ty grabs her shoulder, saying, first of all, calm down. We have nowhere to retreat to, and we don't have the power to take him on, but there's still one thing we can do. He grabs Gabby by the wrist, saying, and that's to spread the news about this. We can tell the people who have the strength and the will to stand up to evil, the gym leaders and Ruby, which, you're right about the first part, not so much about the second part. Sapphire. Oh, Sapphire's all in. You gotta get that information to them. Ruby needs to sort his ish out. We then cut back to Four Tree City where we see oh man. Sapphire back in her natural element, swinging from vines, battling against a Linoon? If only you were the Galarian version. If only you were Galarian Linoon. You get Obstagoon, a Shiftry, and a Grumpig, and she sends out her Blaziken, telling it to use Ember on the Linoon, Double Kick on the Grumpig, and Blaze Kick on the Shiftry, and just comboing all of them, bringing them all down. As she lands, she goes, grr, which translates to Ruby is an idiot. She tells her Blaziken more, and she races to Winona's place, saying, hey, master, would you train me some more? And she barges in. Winona goes, Sapphire, what happened to your clothes? But Sapphire gets in her face, saying, let's talk more training. Winona questions, what's the matter? But Sapphire says, nothing's the matter. I just want to train hard. And she just yanks Winona out of her place. As Winona says, okay. He brings out Masquerain, Swablu, and Beautifly. Interesting. As Sapphire brings out her Tropiary, Lyron, and Donphan. Yep, Donphan. And the Pokemon just clash. It's a 3-on-3 battle. As Sapphire just seems to be raging on the sidelines. And Winona notices that, thinking, he's intimidating. Winona then tells her Pokemon, what are you doing? Fight back. Masquerain, Stun Spore, Swablu, Fury Attack, Beautifly, Whirlwind. All attacks kind of blow them back and incapacitate them as you just have Sapphire on the ground growling. Okay, she says a bunch of their name. I think it gets a little mixed up because Lyron seems to use a tackle on Beautifly. I can believe Tropius uses Aerial Ace on Masquerain, and then Donphan uses Rock Tomb on Swablu. He just manhandles her Pokemon. Winona is left aghast, saying, "Impressive. It's as if you're pouring your emotions into this battle. You've shown me how intensely you can battle. Does that mean?" Sapphire nods. As Winona says, "I see. Thank you. I accept your offer to lend us a hand in this emergency." He then hands over the feather badge, saying, "Now that you've shown me what you've got, there's no reason I shouldn't give you this." Sapphire takes it, and Winona puts a hand on Sapphire's shoulder, saying, "I'm counting on you." Sapphire says, "All right." Winona tells her, "I'll be in the control tower. You get some sleep in the guest house tower." But we see that both Broly and Roxanne are watching with very disapproving glances. I didn't think Broly and Roxanne would be in too much opposition to this degree. I'm wondering where this is going. Like, don't do anything to make me dislike these guys. I like them well enough. I honestly like most of the gym leaders up until this point. Meanwhile, with Ruby, as the narration reads, he's still in Fort Tree City with his Pokemon as he punches a tree, saying, "What choice did I have? I saw a horde of Grumpig charging towards her. I acted instinctively. I had to fight them, didn't I, Nana? So she found out what I've been hiding all this time, right, Kiki? What is wrong with me?" As he sees Marshtomp starting to evolve. What a time to evolve, too. Marshtomp hasn't even really done anything lately. But Marshtomp evolves into one of my favorite Pokemon in the starter, which kind of was ruined because it didn't evolve last time. Even though it was on the cover, it didn't evolve. Swampert. Yep. I was so glad when the water Pokemon got the cool evolution. I love me Blaziken, but Swampert, he's a big hefty boy. Ruby pulls out his Pokedex saying, "You evolved, Swampert." And the Pokedex reads, "Swampert, the mudfish Pokemon. Swampert predicts storms by sensing subtle differences in the sounds of waves and tidal winds with its fin. If a storm is approaching, it piles up boulders to protect itself." Ruby laughs. "I see. I've been dragged into some fierce battles. It's like my body, my muscle memory remembers what it feels like to Pokemon battle." But he then notices Wallace's car arriving. Ruby thinks, "Master." He sees Wallace enter into one of the tree houses. As Wallace addresses Winona, Ruby comes up to the window listening in. Winona says, "Wallace, what's the matter?" Wallace hands over some documents saying, "I checked the humidity in the air. It appears the cessation of volcanic activity has had an effect on the atmosphere, among other things." Winona questions, "Is that so?" Wallace then pauses. Winona questions, "What?" Wallace says, "I realize this is none of my business, but the discord between the gym leaders during the emergency concerns me." Winona is shocked, saying, "Are you telling me you have a problem with me as your leader?" Wallace says, "No. I understand you are doing your best. It's just that I think it's going to be very difficult to unify a group of trainers with such strong personalities. I think you ought to delegate responsibility to others instead of trying to carry the burden of leadership all on your own." As he puts a hand on her shoulder, Winona slaps it away, saying, "The association chose me to lead the gym leaders. I'm just doing what I was told as best I can. I didn't ask for feedback." Oof. Okay, so that would explain why she has the disposition she has. Like, the Winona I'm used to is much more flighty, fun, fancy-free, and all that good stuff. But having a whole bunch of responsibility hefted on her, given the current situation, the crisis, her adopting a more serious edge to her, I could see that. She tells him, "We don't have that kind of relationship anymore." Wait, what? What? Relationship what? Relationship what? Relationship what? Oh, wait a minute. Wallace and Winona? Really? Yeah, okay. I don't think there's ever been a hint anywhere else that there was a relationship. Huh. Man, the man's most flamboyant dude in the series got that riz. Hell yeah. Wow. Okay, this is nowhere but here, but dang. Huh. Oh, you took two of the flightiest characters in this friggin' part of the games and you made them the most serious. Wow. Ruby watches and thinks, I don't know what they're talking about, but I can feel the tension in the air. He then remembers Sapphire's words saying, they're saying they need all the help they can get. I'm going to answer their call. Ruby thinks, it's no surprise. The entire Hoenn region is in crisis. Everybody, including my master, has gathered here to fight. I'll only get in their way if I stick around. He looks back to Wallace, thinking, I'm sorry, master. I pressured you to take me on as your pupil, but now, he remembers Sapphire's words, don't you ever show your face around me again. Ruby runs, thinking, I can't stay here any longer. He then boards Swampert as it swims upriver. Wallace, exiting the treehouse, gives a sigh, but then notices Ruby leaving. As he gets clear sight of him, he goes, huh? Ruby? He jumps in his car and gives chase, but as he starts to lose sight, Wallace says, to his love disc of all things, he entered the jungle. I can't follow him in there. Something seemed wrong. What happened? Since he passed the normal and super rank contest, he's probably going off to participate in the hyper rank contest to Slateport City. Yep, yeah, well, yeah, climate change causes flooding. But that's not good. That is not good. Slateport City is underwater. Oof. Yeah, Slateport City is by the ocean. Yeah, so it would be hit like immediately. Yeah, Slateport City is on the coastline, so water levels rising. Yeah, it would end up in underwater. Oof. Yep, aggressive climate change is a B. 29 days left until the deadline. Wallace asks, what happened here? Like, buddy, you've been researching this. You should know what happened here. Alright, well, Sapphire is still in Fort Tree City, while Ruby has made his way off to parts unknown. Well, hilariously enough, Sapphire skipped the balance badge and got the feather badge. When is she going to get that balance badge? It'd be hilarious if she gets it from Ruby. Yeah, this is one of the few times we kind of skipped around in terms of badges. Alright, and the last chapter of this video, chapter 232. Always keep wish cash on you in case of emergency. Terrible. Watson approves. We have narration. Around the time Ruby left Fort Tree City, and we see it being flooded. Oh my god! Oh, whoa! There was a huge tidal wave. A wave large enough to engulf the land. These poor people. You see people fleeing with their Pokemon. Okay, people definitely died in that. Like, straight up. Man. Wow. Okay. We then cut to Lily Cove City offshore, Team Aqua headquarters, where Archie is watching on his monitors. As reports come in, the sea level is rising steadily as a result of the succession of volcanic activity. Currently 40% of Slateport City and 20% of Little Root Town and Dewford Town are submerged. Oh boy. Archie grips the device that he has, saying wonderful. Suddenly, he sees movement in the water, saying, they're here. A Submarine Explorer 1 rises, and Maxie and Tabitha both disembark from the hatch. Maxie says, sorry to keep you waiting, Archie. Matt approaches from behind Archie, saying, this is it, boss. The moment we finally step foot onto the seafloor cavern. But Archie says, Matt, you don't seriously expect to take part in this operation, do you? Matt says, oh, you're talking about my injuries? I'm a lot better now. But Walrein slaps him away, and as Amber tends to him, Archie says it has nothing to do with that. I'm talking about your failure at Mount Chimney. You've let me down. Decide how to punish you later. But now I'm taking Amber with me on the seafloor cavern instead of you. Amber gulps but remains silent as Tabitha smiles, saying, ooh, scary. Though, what happened to Shelly? I mean, not Shelly. No, Shelly. Yeah. Well, yeah, Shelly. I haven't seen her in a hot minute. Well, Archie, Amber, and a bunch of Team Aqua grunts board the submarine. Archie hands over the device to Maxie. Maxie hands it to the grunt in the seat. They plug it in. Maxie says, special device activated. Submarine set to deep sea mode. Archie says, Submarine Explorer 1 ready to depart for seafloor cavern. Well, we have Tabitha and Amber eyeing each other down. The Submarine Explorer 1 takes off. Meanwhile, in Slateport City, As Wallace watches from above, he says, I can't believe this. Half of the city has been submerged. I didn't see anything about this on the news yesterday. Yeah, I wonder why. This must be a consequence of the volcanic activity coming to a halt. But how could our climate change this drastically in just one night? The situation might be more dire than we gym leaders realize. Oh no, he sees someone swept away by the current, and he sends out his Sea King, his Love Disc, and his Wish Cache, called Charles, Elizabeth, and Philip, respectively. Oh, that's a C dot, too. C dot. Yeah, C dot. Oh, so a mother was separated from her child and their Pokemon. Okay, because we have Wish Cache save the boy. Love Disc saved the C dot, while Sea King comes to the mother's aid. As his Pokemon help them into his car, Wallace says, hang in there. He then thinks, I have to rescue the others, but I need to find Ruby too. Meanwhile, at the Pokemon contest hall, the announcer, he's still going at it, saying, and now, once again, we begin today's Lakeport City Pokemon Contest Hyper Rank, and he falls in. He was on a little floaty and he falls in. Well, the swimmer says, hey, keep your head above water. Oh, it's that one swimmer. Jack. Just call him Swimmer. What are you thinking? This is no time to hold a Pokemon contest. As he comes over on his star, the announcer says, what's the problem? I've been an MC for 15 years. Bicycle races, surfing races. I'm the perfect host for every type of event. Oh, he's the announcer from way back in the beginning? Oh my god. And I'm not going to cancel one over a trifle, especially today. The 1500th Lakeport City Pokemon Contest is a memorable occasion. The swimmer says, memorable my foot? Can't you see there aren't any participants or audience? They're all too busy trying not to drown. I thought I'd find that kid in Lakeport City, and then I could persuade him to follow my business plan to create a Feebas farm. But how can I expect him to show up at a half-submerged contest hall? He then looks outside and notices Ruby on his Swampert floating by. The swimmer says, wait, he's here? He sees they all have ribbons. He's still participated. Oh my god. Oh my god. And he's already participated in several categories, and his Pokemon are all wearing champion ribbons. And then he comes up to the front desk on a flotation. Oh my god. That's too much, man. That's too much. He says, I'd like to apply to compete in the beauty category, please. The receptionist says, no problem. Like the place ain't already underwater. This is a mandatory evacuation situation, guys. You don't get to just be here. This is how you get your license taken away. Oh, whatever. Ruby sighs, thinking of Sapphire, still thinking of her words, saying, don't you ever show your face around me again. Ruby tries to shake away the memory as the receptionist says, excuse me? Excuse me? Ruby says, huh? Yes? What is it? The receptionist says, where's the Pokemon who will be participating in this contest? Ruby says, oh, my Feebas. Where are you, Fifi? He then notices his Feebas, making his way over. And Ruby grows angry and yells, what are you doing, Fifi? You have to keep up with me. Oof. I've never actually seen him yell at one of his Pokemon. The swimmer, peeking around the corner, thinks, he's acting strange. One minute he's spacing out, the next minute he's throwing a fit. Is he upset about something? The announcer says, beauty category primary judging of the Pokemon's look, sir. Because there are no judges here today, we'll be the ones voting on this contest. Ruby says, I'm the only participant anyways. Just hurry up and give me the ribbon. The announcer says the votes are in for the first contest, Ruby's Fifi. The number of votes are 0. As they both hold up signs saying last minute participant, as the announcer says, wow, both of our votes went to the other participant who appeared at the last minute. Ruby turns saying, another participant? Who? When did they appear? And there's water pouring in through one of the walls, so he can't see the person. As he thinks, the water pouring through the wall, I can't see my opponent's face. Who is it? The announcer says, secondary judging appealing with moves. Ruby calls out, water pulse. while the person calls out Surf. I'm guessing who it is. I feel like I know who it probably is. The announcer and the receptionist both say last minute participant. As the announcer says, "Ooh, the last minute participant is incredible. Ruby has failed to make his presence felt." Ruby grabs on the tank with Feebas in it, saying, What's going on? There are only 2 participants. Why can't you win over the judges? What are you doing, Fifi? I should have never let you join my team in the first place. I should have found a Pokemon better suited for this contest before entering it. Like this Pokemon, for example. He brings out the picture of Milotic, and then he turns, seeing all of his other Pokemon like, bruh. He got that face like, buddy. Ruby then says, what the? Oh. And Feebas just has the most dejected look imaginable, and it takes off. Ruby goes to follow, saying, hey, the contest isn't over yet. And as he begins to fall in, Wallace grabs him by the wrist. Ruby turns, saying, Master, you mean you're the last minute contestant? But why? I don't get it. You followed me all the way here just to make me look foolish? Wallace then proceeds to splash him with water, saying, cool down. I don't know what happened to you at Four Tree City, but it's downright rotten of you to take your anger out on your Pokemon. And of all things, to blame your Pokemon for your own lack of skills as a trainer. Absolutely unconscionable. Besides, isn't there something you ought to be taking care of instead of complaining and entering and winning contests? But Ruby then, realizes what he does and starts calling out for his Feebas. Meanwhile, Wallace goes to the announcer and receptionist, saying, the building is starting to crumble from the deluge of water. You must evacuate at once. As we see the building crumbling, and as Ruby tries to wade through the water, he calls out, sorry, I'm so sorry, Fifi. I didn't mean it. Fifi! But Feebas has taken off. Dang, man. So with that, Ruby has put his foot in his mouth for a second time. Ruby has been just pulling the worst kinds of things lately. Whereas before, it was easy to kind of deal with the way Ruby did things because at least he got results. But between the foolish way he challenged Wallace and rightfully lost, to the fact that he just couldn't give a good response to Sapphire that could actually just help her understand what he's about and why he does things the way he does. That's another thing. And then to be yelling at his Feebas, and not to mention be putting his life in danger during this contest. I get it, but you're in a contest with no other entries. How is that even a win? I've been told that, by Steven, that Ruby, the contests aren't so much a big thing. They're more for Ruby's development than anything else, and that's definitely true. We get to really see the weaker side of Ruby in all of this. And dang. But it was always obvious that Ruby was gonna shirk away from any kind of responsibility and all that. But, it's gone from him foolishly putting his life in danger to very much intentionally putting his life in danger. And for stuff that he's not even actually really winning. Like, how are these accomplishments? You're just getting these ribbons to get these ribbons, and it does really make Ruby seem like a weaker person as a result, because you can't really root for the guy because of this, which was definitely the intention. But man, just the way that he yelled at Feebas, I could have saw that earlier on, but with everything that he's been through with Feebas, the fact that he could lash out that way, and it's emotions that he's been trying to, keep, under rank, under the surface, but it just came exploding out. I'm also wondering what Broly and Roxanne's issues are, because we've had so many situations where, there's a multitude of ways that Sapphire could help aside from being on the front lines, so I don't get why they're so bent out of shape aside from maybe, not wanting Team Aqua to be accosted. But honestly, between an account by Flannery and an account by Sapphire, they should know what's up. So, I am kind of worried where this is gonna go. Cause man, that just oof. But the thing is, though Sapphire did lose, she still got the badge later down the line, even though yeah, Winona didn't bring out her Altaria. But I mean, she saw Sapphire's dedication and all that. And it's up to the gym leader to decide why you should give the trainer a badge. I'm just interested to find out what Broly and Roxanne's issues are. And maybe to finally find out what Ruby's issue is. Both Ruby and his dad they're hiding something. And I'm really curious what it could be. There's something deep there that they're hiding, and I really want to know. But let me know your thoughts on these chapters in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.